What's the secret to putting on a big CrossFit show? Well, could it be inviting people that don't do CrossFit? Well, you may well have heard about FitFest, and if you're here on this channel watching this video, then you've probably heard about the Elite Athlete Showcase featuring teams Lawson, Brandon, and Vunga. And it is incredible that we're going to have the chance to see these international athletes of this caliber throwing down in the UK. And just in case you've missed which athletes I'm talking about that are in these teams on this showcase, well, let me give you the list. So for Team Lawson, we have Emma Lawson, Jennifer Muir, Lucy McGonigal, Brent Fikowski, Nick Matthew, and Enrico Zanoni. For Team Brandon, Daniel Brandon, Ariel Lowen, Tori Elgadottir, Bjorgen Carl Gudmundsson, Jason Hopper, and Dallin Pepper. And finally, for Team Vunga, Ella Vunga, Kelsey Keel, Alex Kazan, Patrick Vellner, Jelle Hoste, and Jack Farlow. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about what these athletes will be doing at the showcase, we'll come back tomorrow when I'll be posting up another video because I had a chance to chat with one of the members of Team Lawson, Jennifer Muir, about what she'll be doing as part of this showcase. So more on the elite side of things later. And that's because as excited as I am to see these incredible athletes throwing down here in the UK, that is just one of the things we can expect to see at FitFest. And actually, it's this combination of events that potentially holds the key to, first of all, how we can successfully hold larger scale CrossFit events, but also how we can organically increase the growth of CrossFit. So thinking specifically about the CrossFit community and the audience there, apart from the Elite Athlete Showcase, we're also going to have SID Triple Threat. So this will be a team competition, teams of 3 same sex, and there will be scaled, RX, and Masters divisions as well. So that means it's not just the elite games level athletes that are competing at FitFest, but we've got your weekend warriors of various ages and skills there too. Now, something else that has been making the rounds of the fitness community this year, at least here in the UK, is AFEX. So this is a standardized fitness challenge incorporating a strength portion, an endurance portion, and a Metcon. And it has kept the same format for each event that it has held this year. Well, at FitFest, we will see an open event on the Saturday, but on the Sunday, there will be the AFEX finals. So taking those top spots from the different events that were held throughout this year to see who is the true AFEX champion. And it is going to be interesting to sort of see the results of this fitness experiment. It is kind of combining your classic CrossFit competition with something like High Rocks that has that fixed structure. However, whereas High Rocks has sort of fixed its format in place for the foreseeable future, AFEX will change, it will refresh. So next year we will have a new format for the year that will be held at all of the different AFEX events throughout the year. So that means if you want to give it another go, well, it's not going to be too repetitive. So these are probably the elements that appeal the most to your general CrossFit practitioner. And herein lies the general challenge for larger scale events within the CrossFit community, because all 3 of these events appeal to the same pool of people. So that is the same people that you can expect to do the qualifiers, to buy tickets, or that you can sort of advertise to potential sponsors. And unfortunately, we have seen what happens when events try to go too big too soon, and they don't bring in the revenue that they expect from their qualifiers or ticket sales. And it can mean that in the end, they're not able to pay for the larger venues, they don't have the prize money available, they can't pay the staff, and then people within CrossFit media start to talk about them. So what is the solution? How do these events grow? Well, could this possibly be one of the ways? Because what FitFest is doing is simply widening the net a little and bringing in some other events. And I think that their choice of events to incorporate is a very interesting one. So apart from the previously mentioned events, we are also going to have British Rowing putting on their Indoor Rowing Championship. And if we don't see enough barbells being thrown around during AFEX or Triple Threat, well, British Weightlifting will be holding the English Weightlifting Championships. Now, the reason that I think it's an interesting choice is because obviously the things we've just discussed. First of all, you're opening the doors for new spectators, those that want to come and watch the weightlifting or those that are coming to support the rowing. That also means it can appeal more to sponsors. You're not just getting the same pool of people that would be going to all the other CrossFit events throughout the year. We're opening the doors a little. Now, why are these events particularly good choices to be at FitFest? Well, couldn't it just be the crossover that exists between these events and CrossFit? We row, we weightlift. We know how it feels to go hard on a rower, and we know how much work there is behind a successful lift. And we love to see people that excel in their sport and in these elements. So no doubt, even if someone has gone there to cheer on their friend that is taking on AFEX or part of a team for triple threat, they're going to want to see what's happening with the weightlifting. They're going to cheer on the people on the rowers. And that really results in a win for those events. They're probably going to have more people spectating than they would otherwise. But doesn't it work the other way? If I've gone there because I'm a fan of weightlifting, or maybe a relative of mine is competing, and I've never really given CrossFit a chance. In fact, the first time I saw someone do a butterfly pull-up, I just turned it off. Or maybe it was a poorly executed Olympic lift. But if I'm there, surrounded by the community, so not just the elite athletes, but all of those involved in AFEX and triple threat that are cheering on their friends and family, and I get to watch some of the best in the world competing in CrossFit, could that be enough for me to give it a second chance? And if that happens for a number of weightlifters, a number of people that are there for the rowing, could this not just be an organic way we start to see a little more increase for CrossFit? And of course, it can happen the other way too. Somebody who loves doing CrossFit at the moment might fall even more madly in love with Olympic lifting. I think of someone like Freya Morrow that started off doing CrossFit, but once she started lifting, well, she moved across and has been very successful in British weightlifting. But ultimately, there is a lot happening at the NEC in Birmingham, in the UK, on the 8th to 10th of December. But what do you think? Will we start seeing more events teaming up or pairing up with other sports just to help share the load, or maybe to expose more people to their sport? And if so, what would you like to see partner up with a CrossFit event? Of course, we already have Strongman at Rogue, and we have the Arnolds. But let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see. But probably the thing we're still the most excited about is the Elite Athlete Showdown. So don't forget to come back tomorrow to hear my chat with Jennifer. And if you are going to be at FitFest and you see this guy walking around looking lost, don't forget to come over and say hi.